A very good morning to all of you. I really like this. This was not part of my what I was going to talk to you all. That whenever meeting somebody or seeing somebody, all are saying Jai Hind. That's an excellent and a very patriotic practice that you all have. So that's really wonderful. So at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers and the faculty for inviting me today to interact with the students. For me, it is a privilege as well as a wonderful opportunity to interact with future founders, managers, leaders, and entrepreneurs. So, Stuti gave a very a generous introduction about me. So, I'll quickly say a couple of sentences. I'm a second generation entrepreneur. I'm leading our family owned business in Pune. By qualification, I'm an engineer. So I completed my BE in from MIT Pune, from MIT Kothurud Pune in 99. So that's 27 years back, so a long time ago. I'm also a certified independent director, and I serve as an independent director with a software services company called Fidel Softtech, which is a publicly listed company with offices in Japan, India, and the US. And over the years, I've served in honorary positions at CII or Indo American Chamber of Commerce, amongst others. So when I was invited here, I was thinking, what topic should I speak on? I know you all have had really stellar speakers in the past, and there's such a vast spectrum of areas that would be interesting as well as relevant to students who are studying management. I was also given some suggestions by Dr. Rati Shuklaji. So we thought I should speak about leadership on the ground and managing teams beyond theory, because this is a very practical and fundamental skill that one needs to have right from the start of the career till throughout as you gain more years of experience. Irrespective of the industry you'll choose in the future, the sector, the size of the organization, as well as your role in the organization, leadership is a critical skill. It's a very practical skill. You will have very good, maybe technical skills, knowledge about strategy, but you should know how to work with different kinds of people and lead people. So what, I don't have a presentation. I thought this can be interactive. The content I will try to cover today is basically what is leadership. And I have tried to distill what are the essential leadership skills. Leadership is a very vast topic, and what are the main leadership skills one needs to have. Then y'all are bright students, I can see that. So, how will you successfully transition from student life to corporate life or professional life? And how can you start preparing yourself now for a successful career? And I will briefly touch upon work life balance, especially for women. I think that is an important area which I will talk about. So, let me start by asking you all a question. Who is a leader? Is only the CEO of a company or a director of a company a CEO? Is leadership related to job title? No, yeah, I think you all know that. Of course, these are obviously leaders, the CXO and directors of companies, but it's not a job title. Leadership is a mindset and an attitude. Each one of you sitting here today is a leader. And why is that? Why is each one of you, even at a student level, a leader? Because a leader is someone who is proactive, who takes initiative, can lead himself or herself first and influence others. Influencing others, you're going to work with a variety of people. So influencing others is a very important point. And if you're making a positive change, solving problems and taking people along, you are a leader. So you don't need a designation or certain years of experience to be a leader. It is more of a mindset and attitude. So do keep this in mind. You may have read about it, you would be taught about it, but when you're hired through campus interviews or through other channels in the near future, you will be at an entry level individual contributor. But your mindset and your actions and your attitude is going to decide how you get promoted in that organization or how you develop your leadership skills. Mindset, attitude is very important. So your degree here or your courses here are going to teach you strategy, accounting, marketing, supply chain, HR, etc. But what is going to determine whether people are going to follow you, your team is going to follow you, is your leadership skills. So coming to what are the leadership skills, many times we'll hear uh, statements like, he's a born leader, she's a natural leader. And that is true, that is true. Some people inherently have an X factor or a charisma or excellent oratory skills, because of which people tend to follow them or listen to them. We have examples like our honorable prime minister, who has very good oratory skills. So of course, leadership, some people have inherent qualities which can make them a good leader. But what do you think? Can we not acquire leadership skills? If you don't have that inherently, can we not learn and acquire leadership skills? We very much can. We very much can. Even at the start of my career, I'm basically a little bit of a reserved introvert person. So I would say, how am I going to lead people? How am I going to manage? But this is something, leadership is a skill. And what is a skill? Skill is something that you will learn, ability to perform a task. And how can you get a skill, or how can you improve a skill? Through training, practice, and experience. Training, practice. So don't have that in your mind. And as students, or at the start of your career, you may feel, oh, I'm good at, let's say, technically coding something, or I'm good in accounting, but I don't know how to communicate. How am I going to be a good leader? That is very, very much something that we can learn, we can be trained on, we can practice, and through experience, you can improve. So there are so many, like, let's say, I'm sure some of you know how to speak a foreign language. Did we start knowing how to speak a foreign language? No, but you got it through training, practice, and experience. So that mindset is very important to have, is not bracket yourself or limit yourself or have these self-limiting beliefs. Oh, I don't think I can be a good leader. Maybe in school or at university or in college, you did not get an opportunity for that. But that does not mean you can develop or further enhance it. So I have distilled 5 characteristics which I think are very important for leaders. The 5 are communication skills. I mean, that is the most important. Then there is people management, collaboration, EQ. I'm sure all of you know what that is: emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. Then there is timely decision making. And last but not the least is integrity and ethics. These 5. So I'll repeat it. It's communication skills, there's people management or collaboration, there's effective decision making, there is EQ, emotional intelligence, and of course the foundation of all this is character, which is integrity and ethics. So communication skills. In your courses, I'm sure you know that communication is not just about speaking. Have you all seen that pie chart? What is communication? So communication, the pie chart says 55% is your body language, the gestures that you use. 35, and it may vary a little, but 35% is your voice, your tone, and the balance 5 to 10% is the actual content. So when you're talking, when you're speaking, or when you're communicating, body language is the most important, followed by the voice and tone, and of course the content, which contributes about 10%. So communication is just not speaking. Ensure you're listening carefully, develop active listening skills. That is extremely important. People think communication is a one way, how I'm speaking. But ensure you're actively listening to people, asking the right questions, and be genuinely interested in what the other person is saying. And now when you move to corporate world or a business world, most of your time, even at the entry level, is going to go in communicating, be it written communication or verbal communication. How is that? You're going to be attending a lot of meetings. Some of them, I don't know how fruitful they are, but that will be. So how are you communicating? At this stage, you may not have to lead meetings, but how are you communicating your thoughts? Are you just sitting quietly? And see, you have to make yourself visible also. So are you communicating your idea or your thought within that meeting in a right way? Is it being heard? That is very important. You may be talking to clients directly. So are you understanding the customer needs and talking clearly? There are bound to be conflicts. you're going to be working with different kinds of people. So there are bound to be certain kind of conflict. So are you interacting in a professional way and resolving the conflicts in a mature way? So if you cannot communicate well, for a leader, it creates more confusion than giving direction. And as a leader, you're supposed to communicate very clearly, ensure that the other side, your team, has understood it, and then they will get a clear direction. If you cannot communicate well, you're creating more confusion than what is needed. So today, how do you all get opportunities to improve your communication skills? I'm sure you have opportunities for presentations, you have opportunities to participate in debates, you have opportunities for group discussions. I think as MBA and PGDM students, you have to participate in group discussions, improve your listening skills. Also make it a point to observe and listen to great speakers. Now, even I think when I met Shreyansi, one of your colleagues, at an event where I think IIBM doing excellent job by sending you all to industry events, and that's when I met her. So make use of the opportunities that the college is giving you. You have an excellent foundation here. Make use of it to improve your communication skills. Coming to the second EQ, we all talk a lot about emotional intelligence and emotional quotient, but it's easier said than practically implementing it, especially when you're in a situation which is, let's say, team dynamics. So in today's world, we all know EQs, I would not say more important, but equally important to your IQ. What is emotional intelligence? First is understanding your own emotions, how you're feeling in, let's say you are in a conflict kind of situation, or if you're in a situation with a team, understanding your own emotions and not reacting. And that, let me tell you, it comes with practice and with some years of experience. Not reacting. Let's say a colleague says something to you, or your manager says something to you, immediately getting defensive and responding. No, with time, you have to think what the person has said, listen, and then respond. There is a huge difference between reacting and responding. Understand, be empathetic, understand the other person's point of view and feelings, and always build strong professional relationships. That is very important. So this is part of, you may excel and do very well as an individual contributor, but you should be able to build a strong network and strong relationships. I know of few people, and even I've had that experience, where they are excellent individual contributors, very intelligent individuals, but they cannot handle team dynamics. They cannot work with different kinds of people, and this does tend to be an obstacle when you have to grow in the organization. Now, right now, when I was coming, sorry I kept you all waiting. I got delayed because of some traffic, unscheduled, whatever, traffic. So these problems are going to come up, where you're going to have some deadline, or there's no point in reacting. You have to stay calm, be able to handle. Imagine if a leader gets worked up, or a leader gets stressed. So what impact will it have on the team? In my own experience, I'm running a factory. It's a manufacturing factory, which is very traditional setup. So besides me and my sister, we are directors. There are only men. We have shop floor, and we have male operators mainly. So there are many situations where there's some client demand or something happens on the shop floor, but we cannot get worked up. Although in our mind we may be feeling that, you cannot get worked up. One has to stay calm under failures, under pressure. Otherwise the team will lose the confidence, the whole team. So start practicing that from right now, on how to be composed so that people around you feel secure. So today as students, how do you test your emotional, and you're already at the stage in your life where you also should be practicing this. How do you practice EQ, or how do you know that I'm trying to improve it? Let's say your professors or your seniors give you some feedback. Are you reacting? Are you responding? That's very important. Respect different opinions. That is a big way to check whether you're being emotionally mature. Handle disagreements in a professional way and stay emotionally balanced. So keep EQ very much in mind. Third being effective decision making. See, how do I put this? So, a wrong decision is better, and a wrong but timely decision is better than not taking any decision at all, because indecision is a missed opportunity. With a wrong decision but taken on time, you can course correct, or at least it's a learning. But if you don't take any decision and just let the status quo be as it is, that can lead to missed opportunities. So in business and real workplace, depending on which sector you all join, there's going to be a lot of situations with incomplete information. Should we launch a product? Should we take this financial risk now? Should we enter a new market, etc.? So leaders cannot wait forever. You'll have some basic data, which you'll have to use your analytical skills and basic data to analyze. You'll have to consider risks. You all will know about risk mitigations. You have to consider the risk, listen and take inputs from experts who have been there for many years, and then take a timely decision. Not taking a decision it's not just something that will affect you or your team, it's going to affect the organization. So making timely decisions is extremely important. They may be right, there may be some course correction in the future, but it's better than not taking and sitting on the matter. Fourth most important, collaboration, team management. See, without people around you, we don't work in silos. Even in your personal life, you're not going to be, we live in a society. Likewise, in a professional life, nothing is a silo. You may be an excellent, intelligent individual. Is it going to be of much value if you cannot work with people from different cultures or different backgrounds? You have to learn to collaborate. That's the reality of life. And see, everyone's life is not fair. That you have to keep in mind. Life is not fair. Things are going to be, some things are not going to be as per your, what you expect. Even today as students, you may be seeing when you participate, let's say you have an assignment, a group project, some individuals, some students, your friends maybe, but they are not contributing as much to the project, or they're different personalities. Some have a very difficult personality. There's some conflict. So how do you handle that? Strong leader will always encourage participation. You have to encourage participation. Also, when you're giving feedback, the important thing is you have to first give appreciation. Let's say the person only contributes so much. You have to first appreciate that individual's contribution and resolve conflicts fairly. Even in professional life, when you're giving feedback, they always say when there's a performance review or performance assessment, that first say a few positive. You don't have to give fake information, but give positive feedback first. That person also will feel, that's also a leadership skill of being empathetic, that yes, this is what I have contributed. And then areas of improvement. We don't say weaknesses, but more of what are the areas of improvement where that individual can contribute better. And always back it up with examples. You cannot make a statement, oh, you did not contribute, or oh, you always miss deadlines. You have to give specific examples that we had a project A and B and you missed the timeline in spite of remind. So you have to always back it up with instances. So it's very objective and fair feedback. And you'll have to work with different kinds of people. I'll speak a little bit about that in some time. Last but not the least is integrity and ethics. You all have read of people in the corporate world, business world, sports, excellent as individual contributor, excellent in their work, but they have fallen from grace due to unethical practices. There are many examples. I won't take any names, but these are famous, successful people who, because of unethical practices in their business or in their work, have fallen from grace. So skills, your technical skills, your leadership skills are going to get you to a certain level. But if your character is not strong, you're not following the integrity and ethics, it is going to your success won't last. So people forget, let's say if I miss a deadline with a customer or some project we don't do so well, mess up, there's some quality issue, customer may forget that, but customer will not forget any unethical or dishonest practice from our side. The people will remember that because that is talking about one's character. So what is ethical leadership? ethical leadership is basically adhering to your own personal values and your organization's core values. Every company and organization is going to have core values. They explain in detail what is the meaning and how one should demonstrate it. So it is extremely important that you adhere to your organization's core values. If you have any doubts, it is you can speak with your HR, but that is important and you should demonstrate it in all your interactions. So that is one, adhering to the core values. Doing the right thing even when nobody is going to be watching or nobody can find out. Doing the right thing is always the right thing. That's a very famous saying. So that is extremely important. You may not be answerable to anybody, or maybe somebody may not find out, but you have to always do the right thing. Being transparent in all your actions, in all your practices, and treating people fairly. So integrity ethics is extremely important. See, trust, your organization's reputation, your own trust, and your own reputation, it takes years to build. People don't know you, but a few misjudgment in actions can really take seconds to destroy. So always keep this in mind. When in doubt, ask and ensure you are following your company's core values. So again, I'll repeat the five. First one being excellent communication skills, integrity, ethics, collaboration, and people management, timely decision making, and which was the fifth one? Anybody wants to? EQ, of course, or emotional intelligence. So today, y'all are in a I saw the campus for the first time. It's a fantastic campus. Y'all are in a very comfortable, safe environment. Your professors, faculty, everyone is watching out for you, looking out for you. But you will eventually prepare for placements, interviews, internships, and future careers. And that change is going to affect your life quite dramatically. I don't want to scare anyone, but it's a overwhelming change, and nobody will be not necessarily somebody is watching out for you. That is he or she doing the right thing. If you're making mistakes today, your professors will stop you, or your seniors may tell you something. But in the corporate life, that is not true. Nobody is going to be watching your back. Not necessary. You may have. So you're going to move from a very secure classroom to conference rooms, from assignments where only your grades are affected. If you study well, complete your assignment, only your grades are affected. But now you're going to move to projects from assignment, which are going to affect the customer and your organization. And like from your GPA to performance assessments. So you're going to make a big change. It's exciting, the transition, but it's also overwhelming. And it's very different. You're going to have a lot of opportunities, a lot of responsibility, but there's a continuous learning. And keep that in mind. You're not going to be necessary unless you're very fortunate. Somebody is not going to be watching out for you. Your colleagues, today your friends will tell you, I'll help you with this assignment. In the corporate life, you may not have it. So keep that in mind. You are responsible for your own growth and protecting your own work. So everyone may not have the best interest. So your work today affects your grades. If you study well, you're going to get an excellent GPA. How is your corporate life going to be different? Your projects are going to affect the clients, revenues for the company you're working for, your company reputation, your team. If the leader doesn't perform well, the team is definitely going to suffer. And of course, the business outcome. When people are running companies, they are looking at specific business metrics or their balance sheet, etc. So that your project is eventually going to affect that. So mistakes they're not just going to affect individually, it's going to affect the whole ecosystem. You have a very structured life right now. In corporate life, it's going to be very dynamic and unpredictable. And again, we interview few people, not just MBA or PGDM students or even engineering students. The fresh MBAs, fresh graduates feel that, I was a topper. So I was a topper. Of course, I'll do well in the corporate life. It is not, and that is one of the biggest surprises or, realities of corporate life. Just because you succeeded as a student, not necessarily you're going to succeed in your corporate life. And many toppers or Yeah, good students sometimes do struggle because they are not looking at they're thinking of it only as one role. I'm good. But no, you have to think of all the other previous skills that we spoke about. And some average students who understand these importance of these skills do exceptionally well in corporate life. So company is going to hire you based on how well you do in the interview, based on your grades, based on your knowledge, your skills, but it's going to promote you for your attitude and leadership. So we spoke about this reality. There are some challenges that you're going to also face, and um, how can you work on that? So now you'll have a semester. I think there's a semester system, right? You'll have a semester grade. So it's very, you know that, oh, I've completed this semester, these subjects, I've got this grade. So the progress is very visible and it's in a structured way. And in corporate life, it's not like that. You may spend a couple of years and you will not see any visible growth, and there's a lot of ups and downs. So, fresh employees will think, fresh graduates, once they join, what do they think? I'll immediately get some very exciting project. Even if you join a Fortune 500, Fortune 100 company, you will have to do very basic work. Remember that. You may have to do very basic work. It's not like, oh, if I did something, you're immediately going to get any recognition. It's not like that. So, oh, I'll get a promotion, I did this. You cannot be like that. You may have to handle basic tasks. You may be told, please work on this presentation, please get copies of this. So it'll be very basic tasks, or just analyze this data. You're just given some very fundamental things which you may feel, but that is the reality. This is your learning ground, your initial job or the initial few years of your career. Take it as a learning ground. What am I learning over here? So follow that process. Work may feel repetitive, boring. Oh, I did management from such a good institute. No, but that is your learning ground. So initial few years of your career, you have to understand that patience is important. Your first job is not your final destination. So keep that in mind. Handling pressure. So do you all have pressure as students here? Okay. I heard it only from the boys' side. But yeah, so during exams, I'm sure, exams and your vivas and all, you're going to have pressure. That's temporary and you know. Whereas in corporate life, and pressure, I'm not saying it in a negative way. In corporate life, it's always going to be there. But don't take it in a negative way. Client expectations will change. There's going to be some unscheduled change that they want. There are going to be longer meetings. Your personal life may get a little impacted. You may feel stressed. So, the objective is not to avoid pressure. Oh, I'm feeling pressured. So, no, that's normal. It's a how to manage it. That is very important. And we spoke about it. Staying calm, prioritize your work. You're going to have n number of tasks to do. Please prioritize your work. As in, when you join, you may not be able to delegate work, but ask for help. Many entry entry level or new professionals don't ask for help. Ask for help. That is very important. And maintain discipline. Prioritize. Time management is very important. Prioritize all your work. Communicate clearly. Ask for help. Delegate, I won't say, because maybe delegation you'll get a little later. Maintain your own discipline. And pressure, like I said, is not always negative. See, nothing valuable comes out without pressure. Even diamond is formed under pressure, right? When carbon is under pressure. So pressure is a good thing if you know how to handle it well. Most important, and I struggled with this a little, is working with different people. So here you're naturally going to go with your friends. Some of you may be from the same city, same town, same culture, same background. You're going to make your friends, but you cannot choose your colleagues. You cannot choose people you're going to work with. You're going to have people from very different cities, and it is a big practical issue when you start working. Different culture, different age group. Your boss may be much more senior than you in age, and he or she may be from a very different thought process. Some are very difficult people to work with. Their inherent nature is very difficult. Some may be supportive, but you have to tune yourself. There's no point in complaining. You have to help yourself. So you cannot choose your colleagues, your bosses, nothing. And that's where all these skills will come into place. That's when professionalism will matter. So how does a professional uh, communicate? Is it respectful? Are you being able to, resolve any dispute properly? Emotional control, all that we spoke about. So corporate life is going to reward you if you can work well with different kinds of people. Now, balancing work and personal life. Today, you guys have a lot of flexibility, I'm sure. When you have a Diwali break or some holidays, you can go back to your hometown or enjoy with your friends. But corporate life is going to be different in terms of schedules, meetings. You may have travel. You have a lot of targets. All your performance is based on targets and responsibilities. So young professionals generally are going to struggle with that, struggle with work-life balance. You have to remember that any success that you get in your professional life is only meaningful when your health and relationships are maintained. I tell even my team members today that health is wealth. It is really true, be it your physical and mental health, is really true. So manage your time well, set boundaries, maintain your hobbies. Your job or your career is a part of your life. It's not your whole life. Sometimes people get so caught up in that you forget your family, you forget your physical health. So these things are very important. Maintain, when you have good physical health, even your mental well-being is good. And have interests and hobbies outside of work. Don't say, oh, my job is stressful, so I don't have. You will have to make time for it, whatever interest and hobbies you have outside work. A successful career should support your life to make your life better. It should not consume it. Today, I see so many, I have some friends and even not colleagues, but ex-colleagues who are so consumed in their work, they're forgetting about their family, they're forgetting about their own physical health. This is very important. And now for women, work-life balance especially, see, women are no longer confined to a single role, let's say a homemaker, what let's say our previous generations had. You are going to be working and you have to maintain that personal and professional balance. A woman only has to take, woman can become a mother, so you're going to eventually need to take that break. But remember that you have to plan for it. You have to be financially independent always, and don't try to be a superwoman. I don't know why that is so praised. Oh, she's a superwoman. You don't need to be. Nobody needs to be. Sometimes your personal life is more important. Sometimes your professional life. How do you maintain harmony in that? That is a challenge, especially for women. So don't try to. And work-life balance for women doesn't mean 8 hours in office, 8 hours at home. It's not just a split. It is more of even maintaining harmony. Find a good support system, be it through your family or others. Focus on what matters. Focus on what matters. If your personal life for a year is going to be more important as you all get a little older, focus on that. Don't try to, I'll manage this also, because then you cannot enjoy. See, you have to enjoy your life. You cannot enjoy any part of your life. Time management, you are going to reduce stress both at work and at home. Set realistic expectations. Set realistic expectations and look at that Eisenhower matrix. You all know this is for guys also, the Eisenhower matrix, urgency versus importance. So what is urgent versus important? Many times in our daily routine, we are handling urgent things. Oh, this project, so let me work on it. More important is to look at what is important and not urgent. Urgent is more like firefighting. Importance is what? Which is like long-term financial planning, long-term thinking. That is important. So women be confident. When you need to take a break, you need to take a break and have your own way of thinking. Don't have too many. Generally, sometimes in our society, it does happen that we are told what to do. Ensure you are using your own thinking for yourself. A few practical tips for everyone, and start on it now, is reading. How many of you read besides your besides the college course material? Reading is extremely important on various topics, not just I'll read only about management and all. Some books I can recommend is My Life in Full by it's a autobiography of Indra Nooyi, who was PepsiCo head. That's a very good book, especially it's good for everyone, but she talks about how she maintained harmony in her personal and professional life. There is one book by Robin Sharma, The Leader Who Had No Title. And that's what I spoke about earlier. You know, you don't have to just be senior, or you don't have to be like a director or operations head, etc., to be a leader. So the book is Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. Classic, which I think some of you may have read in school also and college, is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That is a very good book. And Built to Last by Jim Collins. And read Built to Last. He talks about what takes, he's also written a book, Good to Great, What Makes Companies Great. So look at a very, very topic. It'll broaden your thinking, it'll improve your communication skills. So practical tips for y'all now is reading on variety of topics. Be proactive. When we were children, or even now, our parents are going to tell us, do this, then your professors. Later, after you're out of college, nobody is going to tell you, no, I think you should do. You be proactive. So when Dr. Rati and the others invited me, I could have said, actually, I'm busy because I have work or I have, but I'm taking the initiative to come and talk to students. So be proactive in whatever. If this college is excellent, you're getting so many opportunities to, let's say, interact with industry, or on your own look at industry events, trade fairs, etc., and start building your network from now. And networking is very important. Networking is not just because, oh, it'll be helpful for me, he will help me later, or she will help me later. No. Network, you also have to, it's a two-way street, but most importantly, it's going to also broaden your horizon. Take responsibility and accountability for yourself. Complaining is not going to get you anywhere. So take responsibility. If you're not getting some opportunity somewhere, try something else. Take responsibility and accountability for yourself. And there is no substitute for hard work and self-confidence. Sometimes I think smart work is better than this. That's all okay, but there is no substitute for hard work, irrespective of whether you're entry level, you grow, become more successful, become a CXO level. There is no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute for self-confidence. And how do you get and improve your self-confidence? By getting out of your comfort zone. Take opportunities, even if you feel actually this is not my, I used to face that a lot in college and early days, that actually I don't like doing this, I don't like going out and meeting people, but I went out of my comfort zone. It does help you. So I'll say take accountability, responsibility for yourself. You all have got an excellent ground right now. I'm sure you're schooling and now you're college, so do make use of it. I'm sure you all will do very well, and I wish you all the best for your careers. Remember, these skills, leadership and all the skills that I touched upon are extremely important throughout your career, right from the start. So all the best to all of you for your careers, and thank you so much. It was nice talking to you. Thank you. Ma'am, yeah, I think one girl.
Jai Hind, ma'am, I'm Jyoti. I want to ask how to handle your personal and professional relationship while being a leader. Like if you're in a team and you have people who are your friends or your good colleagues, so but they are not being supportive or collaborative. So how to maintain that without losing your personal bond and professional relationship?
That's a good question. That's a very practical question also. Jyoti, right? Yeah. So see, at the workplace, you will have to follow the professional, even if, let's say that individual is not your friend or a acquaintance whom you know, you will you will have to communicate in a respectful way, and you have to give the professional, let's say there's a deadline, and just because he or she is your friend, you're not going to let it say things like, no, it's okay, no, or support him or her more than what is expected. So you have to maintain the professionalism and communicate objectively. I spoke about communicating objectively. ABC is expected from you, and this is how it needs to be done. So your professional relation and your professional objectives are going to be far more important than the personal equation you share with that person. That's
But if
important.
communication it is not improving, so it might lose via, so it might lose a friend.
Um See, friendship, I don't think are so fragile that it'll lose over professional. But you have to give the profession and the company's interests and the company's objectives have to are far more important than the personal equation. And that's where even your integrity, ethics, nobody should, and being like I said, you have to treat people fairly. So people are looking at you or observing you. They should not feel that Jyoti has favored so and so because she or he is a friend. So you have to maintain the company's interest and the professional interest over the personal personal relations
Thank you,
anytime.
ma'am.
Wow. Yeah.
Jai Hind, ma'am. My name is Samruddhi Shinde. My question to you is sometimes it happens so that the company or a project falls short of finance or budget cuts. So, how do you communicate this effectively to your team so that they don't run low on morale or get demotivated?
Okay. Again, good question, Samruddhi. See, you will get some information from management why there is a lack of funds or why a project is going to discontinue for some reason. So they are going to give you very clear business reasons on why a project is not getting funding or why the client is moving on to some other. So whatever is communicated by your seniors has to be communicated in the same way to the team. To the team, you cannot add your own flavor or your own, or you be disappointed, oh no, this was not fair. And you have to communicate as objectively as possible, and whatever is communicated from the seniors has to go as that way to your team as well, that this is the reason. It may not be good news, it is not, it is not a positive news, but you need to communicate it accordingly.
How you keep them motivated through the problems?
See, it's you can there will be new opportunities. You yourself as a leader might get demotivated, right? You yourself will get, but there will be other projects that will come up. In IT it happens quite a bit that the team is kept on bench or some project goes to some other contractor or other company. So you will get some other projects. You will also have to involve HR at some point depending on the size of your team, the size of the project. So HR involvement, HR generally does get involved. If at all, it's a very big impact.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jai Hind, ma'am. I am Aisha Khan. My question to you is how can I join, as my father is also having a manufacturer and retail shop of furnitures, and I am planning to help him with that. So, what are your advice that I can follow to be good at that? And what are the challenges you faced by taking over the business of your father?
Nice, a very question which is very close to my heart also. So is this business in Pune only?
No, it's in Union Territory, Dadra and Nagar Haveli.
Okay, okay, okay. No, so I always tell people, I also have outside work experience. While I worked, now it's been more than 20 years, I have outside work experience. So I always tell people that try to get outside work experience. Um, because you will get the best practices, let's say corporate practices, which may or may not be there in the family business. Also you will think like an employee. See what happens when you're second generation, when you're the daughter or son, people say okay, she's a boss's daughter, boss's son has come. So then that is difficult as a young person. So get that experience, and people will also value you more, your inputs more. Not only will you learn something in corporate which you may not be able to learn in your business, you will get some best practices, HR, some frameworks which you can implement and grow for your family business. So my definite advice now, again, you that's also personal choice. My definite advice is to get external work experience at least for a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years, then join the business. Don't be completely out of touch with your business. I'm sure your father, your parents speak with you about it, but get outside experience. That also makes you more professional.
Thank you, ma'am.
Don't tell your father I told you, because he'll say she's not ready to join the business now for 4 years. And parents do have that, obviously it's natural, they feel oh she should join, but yeah, as it initially for your learning you can.
Jai Hind, ma'am.
Yeah,
I am Sneha Samanta. I want to know what has been your biggest leadership lessons you have learned while managing your manufacturing company.
Leadership lesson is my, like I said, I'm in hardcore manufacturing, a very traditional setup with mainly male operators. For me, I feel my emotional quotient has improved over the years. See, I came from good college and fun, and then I'm in a setup which is not even like an IT setup where I had a very different kind of environment I had to adjust to. So it had made me more mature, I would say, and how to work with different people. Even when I'm communicating with, say, team leaders and all, they may not be from a background like you and I. They may be from a simpler background with little maybe different education. But for me, that has been the biggest leadership. How can I work with my team and with others, though I'm from a different. So it has helped me in my emotional maturity and emotional quotient over the years. Working collaboration and EQ has improved a lot for me. Even people who see me after a few years, after many years, they are like, oh, we can see that change. And of course, you learn about it over time.
Jai Hind, ma'am. My name is Sanskriti Pataria, and my question to you is how do you communicate a no or a difficult pivot to your team member after knowing that they will be frustrated after that?
Okay, so there are two answers to this. Thanks
Yeah.
for the question. Right now, I'm in a position of privilege. I have to just say no, and they have to accept it. No,
Yeah.
that's it. But since I've worked in corporate also, um, the reasoning behind it has to be told in a very objective way. You cannot, please don't try to sugarcoat things in the corporate world, that oh it's like this, and don't be defensive also, like explain yourself too much. You're a leader, you should be able to communicate it strongly, that this, for example, this project is not going ahead, or I cannot assign you this project, somebody else is assigned as a project lead. You have to communicate it very firmly, politely, and give the reasoning behind it, objective reasoning behind it, without making any personal remarks. So objectively, that so and so has so many years of experience, or he or she has handled different kinds of project, or this geography, let's say he has handled projects in the US, for example, therefore he's given this and not you. But the no has to be said firmly. There's no two way about it. Don't try to be too nice also. Being nice is one thing, being professional is one thing, being nice is another thing. So
Thank you, ma'am.
Jai Hind, ma'am. My name is Neha Tiwari. My question to you is how you identify future leaders in your team before they recognize their potential.
thanks, that's a great question. And I have to do that regularly, because we always have to think who's next, as let's say the at the shop floor manager or my plant head, etc. So you can see them working, how they're. I look at the overall skills. Firstly, is he, and I'm going to use he because I mainly have male team members. Is he really being able to take people along with him? Is he able to maintain a positive attitude? We have a lot of fluctuations in demands. We have a lot of changing customer needs. So can he handle that in a mature way? Is he taking people along is the most important thing. And is he self-motivated? Self-motivated doesn't mean that person is going to come like fully energetic every day. But is he self-motivated? So I think I look at these, and accordingly. And of course, integrity. Without the basic ethics, we don't even, I'm fortunate to say, we don't even have team members. Even at a entry level, if we find somebody has not maintained the required standards in terms of core values, we would communicate that immediately to the person. So we look at this overall skills.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I think maybe this. Yeah, whoever. Oh, a lot of questions.
Jai Hind, ma'am. I'm
Jai Hind.
Smriti Nahak. I have two questions. That first thing, on the ground as a leader, what is the biggest challenge when their team are misses the deadline of any target for the valid personal reasons? How a leader will manage empathy versus target?
Valid personal reasons.
Huh.
Like
And
I
they misses
couldn't
the
come
target's
because of
deadline. Yes.
some family emergency or
Yes.
something. See, if it's a family emergency, something very untoward has happened, then of course one has to understand and communicate to the management or through the client. But generally, you'll always have a backup somebody else. Suppose a person A has had some personal problem and some family emergency, you're going to have somebody else in his place. He should at least communicate it on time that, look, this has happened, and you can find a backup. Otherwise, you have to communicate to the client. We have had these problems in between because of rains last week. Heavy rains. Many of my team members couldn't actually come because PCMC had closed some roads. We had to communicate that to the client that this is what has happened in Pune, and these are overseas clients in Germany and the US, but we had to tell them this is what the situation in Pune. We lost 2 working shifts or 2 working days because of this not flooding but heavy rains. So
My second question is, as a manager, when we take a decisions for the company, that what are the points we keep in our mind and will take the decisions?
Uh, so this is very broad. It depends. See, you are going to get a directive from the management. Let's say it's a financial kind of decision. You're going to get what is the KPI. You're going to have KPIs or KRAs, key result area, key performance indicator. So you'll know. For example, they may give you a target that we are looking at a 5% cost reduction in your process. So the question was, how are you going to
Take a decision
Huh.
for the company, and what are the key points which actually keep on our mind for the employees,
have to
for the
keep-
company?
You have to
and we'll
keep
take
in
this
mind,
decision.
you have to keep in mind the KRA. You will be given a very specific objective, specific KRAs at the start of the year itself. And then you have to work towards it through various, they'll also give you the methodology or the channels you have to follow. But it'll be very clear on what is the objective, how you're going to achieve it, as I'm sure there'll be discussions around it. And you have to keep in mind your people, your team, the company's interests, the overall business metrics.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Jain
Wow.
ma'am, my
Yeah.
name is Rupa Prasad, and my question is, how do leader adapt their leadership in a different situation?
So everyone has, thanks for the question. Every leader has an inherent quality, inherent leadership. You may be knowing, right, the various leadership. So certain ways, like being very authoritative now, doesn't work in any environment. Um, so you have to see what is the situation. You have to see what is your level of experience in that organization, and accordingly see who are the team members. Are they very new? Are they senior team members? The very difficult part is when you have team members reporting to you who are much older than you and have more experience than you. That is a very challenging part. So in that way, you have to be a more adaptable, different level, who's listening more, taking their inputs. So it depends on who is the team, who are the team members, is it about a project, or is it about a difficult business decision that you have to communicate to them. So you have to change your leadership style in that way. But your inherent style, what it is, it is. Please don't be like, we cannot be fake in the corporate anywhere. So whatever is your inherent style is yours inherent style.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jain ma'am, my name is Sanskriti Dubey, and my question to you is, how should a leader handle some conflicts between the team, and if someone is constantly underperforming in the team, how do we respond to them or tell them in a very positive way?
See, certain things you cannot tell very positively. See, you're going to have like quarterly, half yearly reviews, right? So you have to firstly keep everything on email. Your company will have the policy. You have to keep HR in the loop always, because that HR should know whoever's assigned to you from HR. You have to tell the person what are the positive things he or she has done, but you will have to document this. And PIP is there, like the performance improvement plan is there in place. Communicate it. If it's bad news, it's bad news. So my husband is a director with Deutsche Bank. So they also have, like, he has a global team. So they also have these. What has to be communicated must be communicated. Professionally, how do you resolve the conflict? You have to hear both sides. That's when your listening skills are going to matter a lot. Listen to both the sides. Do not be fair and transparent. Do not take sides of anybody. Listen to both the points, and you have to find some win-win situation. Someone has to given a little. It has to be. It's similar how we may do it in our personal lives as well. Only you have to maintain your professionalism. You have to find win-win, and you have to see always what is in the best interest of the organization as a leader. Sure. First timer.
Jain ma'am,
Jai Hind.
myself Yashraj. As you mentioned that you have a traditional setup for your production of a product. So if I am not wrong, your products are such as oil seals, bushes, or metal cum rubbers.
Right.
So that needs a defined quality to be maintained. So how do you maintain that in a traditional operational management?
No, so thanks. So traditional, when I say traditional, it's more of, it's a factory shop floor. It's not like how the new IT cool companies are. But we are an IETF certified company. So, and we have the various ISO certifications as well. And we are exporting maybe about 50% of our products. So quality has to be inbuilt. The processes are not traditional. The setup, especially as a woman leader, that setup can be a little different. But the processes are modern. Most of our machines have come from, they're also Indian make, but Germany, Taiwan. And we have the required quality processes, PPAP, what is needed in automotive engineering. And we have the quality checks in place. So that is monitored. We monitor our PPMs, which is the internal rejection. We have root cause analysis, Pareto, etc. So we have a detailed system manager who's doing that. So we have live MIS also. What was the expected quantity? What is the rejection today, etc. So when I said traditional, and maybe that I should have said clearly, more traditional, when I mean traditional setup in terms of not the processes, but as a woman leader, when I was talking about leadership.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone?
Jai Hind, ma'am. My name is Zubhai Pratap, and my question is, ma'am, as you said, ki making connections and building a good network. How can I make connections when someone has no same common things and same interest?
So networking, see, common interests we find in our friends, or that's all. But networking, when I said, that is more of a professional networking, and that is, you should find people who are a little bit different from you. So let's say you get into an IT company and you befriend somebody from banking sector. So network should be across sectors. He or she may not have something common in you, even in the background, but you will learn something from that individual. He will, or she or he will learn something from you. So don't try to find common interests as in how you would look at it from a personal perspective. It's more from a professional perspective.
Okay,
So
ma'am, thank you.
Jai Hind ma'am, I am Sanyukta Lande and I want to ask about how the AI is automating the manufacturing industry and what skills we should build.
Good, very relevant question. I'm sure you've read a lot also about this. So AI is impacting across, not just manufacturing, across sectors. It's IT, and it is banking, etc. So there are courses, but think of AI is a very broad term. So think of, I don't know what your interest lies in, which area you're going to, which company you're going to get into, what is your,
Ma'am, actually, I want to choose the business analytics as the specialization.
so then you'll definitely have a lot of AI requirements. Then you can think about various courses. One needs to be kept well read and abreast, and think of various courses which are also available online. Depending on for analytics. But it is going to definitely impact us in the future, and you will have to keep yourself abreast about it. One more, yeah. I hope I could answer. Coming to the previous question where you asked about network, LinkedIn is only a digital network. It's not going to help you. You have to go in person and meet. Lot of people have many thousands of followers, but you have to take the effort to meet people in person and take effort to attend various events where you can actually interact with people in person. Remember that networking is not what is in the digital space. That is only the first point. Okay, I know so and so. Later you have to make effort of meeting the people. Yes.
Jain ma'am, I'm Vaishnavi. So my question is, how do we earn clients' trust when we are knowing that we are advising people who have decades more experience than us?
That is a see, clients trust, or anybody's trust. Somebody may have more experience than you, but finally it boils down to capability. So I'll give you from my perspective is, people thought, oh, it's a family owned business, so anyway by default, so I had to work doubly hard. The clients feel, oh, she may not know. They used to be surprised that, oh, she's actually an engineer and she knows about the business, even the domain actually. So capability, really know your subject matter and whatever is assigned to you, and communicate that clearly. So then it doesn't matter if somebody has 10 more years experience than you, or in fact even more. So you should be knowledgeable and you should do your homework and know what you're talking about. So if you communicate, and it's in the end it all boils down to capability. Earlier in our setup especially, there's a lot of this. Now we talk a lot about gender diversity and all, but there is a lot of subtle, how do I, difference they see if there's a woman leader versus there is a male leader. But then once they understand, once they talk to you, they are going to uh, trust you that yes, she can deliver. She, whatever she has committed, be it quality, delivery, cost, she's being able to deliver as a leader. So it comes to that, whether you're capable and whether you're adhering to your commitments. So many, I think, the guys. You want to take a couple of more questions, or how do we? Whatever's suitable. I'm okay. Yeah.
Jai Hind, ma'am. My name is Rishika. So I've heard that you have been awarded the the successful woman entrepreneur from Auto Cluster Research and Development Institute. So what hurdles and obstacles did you face to get on that point?
Many. Like, not just the award, but in general, there are going to be, from the start of my career, there are hurdles. I spoke about subtle differences when you are a male leader versus a woman leader. Many times when I've gone for conferences, I've been the one of the only woman, or maybe just two more in. So that is difficult, initially. So that is one hurdle. Other hurdle is to that perception people have that it's a family owned company and therefore she's a director. That has to change, because I started from ground up. I'm a technical person, so I used to do the testing in the laboratory, spend time. I still spend a lot of time on the shop floor. Not a single day goes when I don't go on the shop floor. So I've had to work really hard. And I've had to work hard on myself also, because I'm not naturally a person who, I was speaking earlier, who went out and met people and networked, but I had to work on myself for that. Lot of hard work, even today. Uh, that's why I ended saying that there is no substitute for that. Okay, so connecting person means connect in person, like meet the people. So how did I come here, or how did I get to meet Dr. Rati? Is because I have a LinkedIn, or I know somebody who organized that event, Pro MFG, where one of the students was here, and then I interacted with that student. So if I had not gone for that conference and I was not a panelist, uh, that the student wouldn't have known about me, right? I would just be connected with her on LinkedIn. So there are a lot of conferences which happen. make use of it. Lot of trade fairs in auto cluster in Pune, because it's an automotive hub. Lot of trade fairs happen. Take time to go there. Many times these companies or organizers like Auto Cluster looking for students to man the stalls or help in the expo organization. Make use of that. Then they will know, instead of just connecting online. So make use. Personally, I didn't mean personally, in person, physically go and meet the people and add value wherever you can, and then they'll remember you also. So this side, anyone? I didn't say. That's it. Lot of questions. It was good. All different kind and very practical questions. So okay, if there are no other questions, thank you so much. Very interactive crowd, very bright students. So thanks so much.